Hello, Facebook and YouTube. Today on How Hugh Eats, I'm going to do a old man bachelor edition. This will be making bulk burrito meat or taco meat. And how I do it on a budget, and I cook up the meat, I put it into baggies, I freeze it for later, I do different things with it. So what I start out with this time is 5 pound of the 80/20 cheap stuff. It was like 17 bucks, 18 bucks, so it's like $3.60 a pound, so it's not too bad. I'll take that, cook it up with 3 white onions, and make some hamburger meat. So first thing I'm going to do is chop up the onions. So I'll probably put this on pause a couple of times. I like to use white onions for this because they don't caramelize quite as quickly, and they seem to last through multiple cookings. As you know, I reheat the stuff later, I still keep an onion. So I'm going to cut these up, and then I'll start the video again. One thing you're always going to want to use, at least I always want to use, is these food handling gloves. I buy them a few hundred at a time on Amazon. They're pretty cheap, but they work good, and they really keep the nasty food off of your fingers and stuff, and they make cleaning up a lot easier. So make sure to use your gloves. At least I do. Okay, one of the things that I do to make cleanup easier is I get myself a bag, and I actually put the whole onion inside the bag, and I cut off the ends, and I cut off the outer stuff while it's in the bag, so that once I'm done with 3 onions, I don't have to go looking for all my scraps and everything of the pieces I want to toss. They're already in the bag. So that's one of the things that I do to keep it simpler for me. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut these onions up into little chunks. I'm going to put them inside this great big pan. So I don't have a lot of pans. I'm not too fancy with pans. I know some people go nuts on them. So I use this one. This is kind of like a general purpose pan for me. I could take it camping. I could sit on it. I could, wear it as a costume if I had to, or I can cook taco meat in it. So I'm going to cook taco meat in it today. So one of the things I'm going to do, I'm going to cut up my onions, and I'm going to put them all across the bottom. And that's going to be my bottom layer as I cook this. I have a technique that works for me. So I put a layer of onions on the bottom, then I put my hamburger meat, and then I put some seasoning on it, and then I put it on the stove at a real low flame, and I just let it go until it starts bubbling, and then I'll start mixing it, and I'll show you that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up the onions now. Okay, so I have all my onions cut. I went ahead and washed my board and all of that already. Onions are just in a pan. Just put a layer of them in. That's a lot of onions, but I like onions. And if there's too many onions, I can always pick onions out later. So the next thing I'm going to do is get the big thing of ground beef. I like 80/20. I like 85/15. They both require draining, but they have enough fat in there to make it tasty. It's really the fat that makes hamburger taste good. And you can drain off all the oil after you cook it, but the lean stuff, in my opinion, just doesn't taste as good. So I got this big old giant thing. I'm going to go ahead and cut it open. Hamburger's not as nice as it used to be. So this is the Walmart hamburger. You know what? It's okay. It's not that great. But it'll do. It'll do what I need it to do. I'll season it up. It'll taste just fine. And I have my food handling gloves on. I'll take the wrapper and get it right into a bag so I can throw it away easy. I'll take all of this, take the hamburger, and I'll show you a picture in a minute. Just gotta break it up a little bit. Not too much because it's going to break up as it cooks. And just push it down as a layer. So let me get out of these nasty gloves. Clean hands. Put those in the bag. As you can see, it's a layer of hamburger. So let me go get some seasonings and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so for seasoning at this time, since I don't know exactly how I'm going to end up eating this meat, I'm just going to go real simple with just some salt and some Lorry salt. And I'll end up seasoning this twice, at least twice, but we'll just start out with some right now. You know, it's a lot of meat, so we'll have to season a couple times. But this is a start. And just put a little bit of that in there. You can put however you want to season it, doesn't really matter. So we'll get the lid, put it on the stove on a slow flame, get it going. I'll get you up close to that flame so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, that's about all the flame I use on this. You know, it's gonna take, I don't know, half an hour to cook or whatever, but that's okay, I got other stuff to do. I'll be back. Starting to cook along the edges, so I'll go ahead and give it a stir. Okay, stirred up a little bit. We'll give it another 10 minutes and stir it again. Okay, it's all cooked up. Got a lot of oils and waters to drain off. Drain it in this colander and then I'll set it into another pan so it can start to cool off. I'll get rid of the excess and put it into baggies once it cools down. Okay, that's burger meat, taco meat. Okay, have a great day. Out.